This is Walter Capps with the Independence News, reporting live at a UMKC student government meeting. This is my first time here, so we're going to see how it goes. Please like and subscribe, and share the video. Thank you.
So you all like that this guy doesn't know how to lead this meeting.
Yes, such my
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm guessing this outlet
You're good.
Investments, it's always
Let me know if you need help.
Are we just one screen yet? They put more TV in here, y'all.
It's gonna be as soon as you log in and we can change it.
It's probably better, go through budgets, all these screens. Man, I can hate burgers. Seems like I'm in there every day.
Did everyone have an opportunity to do your pre-reviews? Yeah. Great.
Where are we at? First event, fight event?
It's the one that says.
How are we gonna go through this today, so?
Everyone should have access to it, so. Someone's gonna have to do it,
Huh?
Someone's gonna have to record the approved amount.
Yeah,
Just
typically,
Sam typically does that.
yeah, so typically I just do that from mine.
And then you can adjust your rate. You don't have to do it in.
Okay, so we don't do it like that. We don't go as we go.
Yeah, Yeah, we typically haven't changed it like in groups as we go, but, and I just send over what like the final numbers we come to are, but
Okay.
So we will have to call roll. And the other thing that we have to do is, mention before we get into the, session is that, the total that we can give out per meeting is $20,751.28. So that's the event by event total per meeting. So what happens is we take the total we can allocate for the fall, divide it by 7 meetings, and that is the amount we can give out. If we allocate all the money in the first 3 meetings, there's no more money for the rest of the semester.
So what if there's extra toward the end of the year?
Then it will go back into the other event. So if we push it forward each time. So if we give 15,000 out this time, it pushes forward until it's fully allocated. But what we can't do is over allocate. Yeah,
This is the meeting where we're deciding what we wanted the cap to be for the finance or just.
the cap has been set.
Okay.
So we take the average of the annual budget, and give that cap out. It's $2,067
Okay.
for the event by event.
Oh, this is when we were supposed to vote on who was allowed to do event, like if the councils were allowed to do event. I remember we had something we were supposed to be voting on.
Because we discussed how we were gonna do like an overall cut to annual budget because there was so much.
That already occurred.
Yes.
Yep.
And then voting on which, or all orgs can do it, event by event. And then we talked about voting on whether the councils were gonna be able to do event by event.
so I think it was, we were gonna talk about whether you would allow annual, like, basically people who got less than the amount, the 2,000 whatever, to get up to that in event by event. So like we didn't cut the ones for just being too low. So if someone only got approved like $500 in annual, I think we were gonna talk about seeing whether we thought they should be able to request like the remaining 1,500 or whatever up to the event by event. I believe was
Right.
I was just gonna ask, moving forward, do we still wanna do the Excel, like, corrections first? Or do we wanna do it like last year, or previous years, where you just change the number in the groups itself?
Yeah, that's a controversial decision.
It's asking you, how do I access this? The only option is to download this. I'm guessing that's.
You have to sign in to actually be able to edit it.
Yeah.
I ran into the same issue earlier.
in the Google Drive. Once we're at these meetings, I should be the only one really touching Google Drive. And it's,
The only reason why I wanted it for council is I could.
yeah, you're great. I just was telling, like, for everyone else, don't feel like you need to sign in because you shouldn't really be editing it.
Yeah.
I think
And you definitely shouldn't be editing totals after we've voted and approved it.
Don't do that.
So the question is do we want to edit it beforehand and let you touch it up if there are any changes, or just let you do everything?
In terms of like, when he sends it out,
The notes.
I think what I would vote for would be to type out the reasons and then have a number in your head and leave the approved column empty, like let me fill in the approved column. Because otherwise, that's kind of how I track which ones we've voted on. Like once it's in approved, that's the number. So feel free to put your reasons in the reasons. That would just make my life easier as we go through this. That way I'm not having to like be like, and what was the reason for that again?
Yes.
But leave that approved column empty, have the number in your own notes, but leave that approved column.
So we need to call roll and we come into session before we can make any decision.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so, hello everyone, my name is Joseph Warren, used to be / pronouns. I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 6:06. I'll go ahead and ask for a roll call vote to be given so that we meet quorum.
What do we, does this mean now?
A roll call vote.
Oh, what is that?
Do y'all not do attendance like that?
Do you,
Do you want to?
don't you do the roll call?
I was gonna say typically, yeah, just,
Typically, well,
Do I get?
we never did like an official thing, I feel like in the past, but maybe we were supposed to.
You were supposed to,
Yeah.
and yeah, you have to take official attendance.
Yeah, it was always, Gina just always kind of went through and called it, I feel like, or Zachary.
Gary? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
Okay, sorry, folks, well, this is gonna be a very sloppy meeting. It's new for all of us, new for me. I think we have Sam who has expertise and Zach, the former controller, so. But we'll go ahead and do roll call. Todd, would you like me to do that, or
yeah,
I guess you on the Senate side with clickers, that's why it's not.
yeah, we don't have computers for this. So we
Yeah.
just need the roster and call it from the roster.
Yeah, last year, regardless of who did it, usually they just had the roster pulled up and they would say like, graduate school, and then Kyle would say here, and, if it's a sub, then they would say who,
Okay.
like they were subbing for.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. And we can get it, just because we're gonna pull up the roster.
We got a couple of SAC reps looking for them. It's a good text.
Okay. We didn't call it yet.
This is 301, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll call it tonight, and then, next meeting we'll have it available. School of no problem. No School of Medicine?
Here.
Can you say your name too, Clark?
I do get now.
Great. School of Law. School of Education, Social Work, and Psychological Sciences. No? Science and Engineering.
Zachary is my vice president.
Thank you. Conservatory.
Shelby Jensen.
Thank you. Block School. HHS.
Broke up.
Graduate School.
Here.
School of Pharmacy.
Something.
School of Nursing.
Lydia Craig.
Attorney Sorority Affairs. MSOP. Saga.
Here.
Environmental Council. International Student Council.
Honestly, it's a little cute.
School of Dentistry.
Same as this year.
Anyone we didn't call? So we have a quorum. Barely, if anybody leaves, we do not have a quorum.
11 present, and we got one on the way. It's a social worker.
Great, so we're good to begin.
Okay. So, did everyone receive the link to review the budget's fine? Were there any problems? I'm going to talk to somebody about it. Good to go. All right, one thing I do want to bring up, Tom, and this is, me and Carrie met today, and we have our one-on-one. This is our first SAC meeting, as you're all aware. The Senate has been very curious about what we're doing on SAC side. Specifically, our last Senate meeting, they had me explain why we cut close to 35%. And really, I would say grill me on it. And talking to Zach, I really don't have to explain myself, but I did, because they just thought we woke up and wanted to cut budgets by 35% without, doing that. Then yesterday, during a Senate committee hearing, they called me in to explain again the cuts, and there were questions on why SAC reps get paid. So I had to explain the work you all do and why you deserve to be paid. And they decided against a bill that would change another fee for us to pay senators, and that would add an additional fee for us. So just want to be transparent with Senate side, what's going on that side. But I think we explained to them why we did what we did. We had about 677,000 in requests, and we could only push up to 40,000. And I just clearly said, like, we can't go into root groups and improve money we just don't have. So that cut was a nosedive in the plan to hit that number, and we just, I mean, that's just what we had to do. Yep, go ahead.
I don't know if it was ever clarified over Zoom, because people were trying to get out of there pretty quickly at the end of our summer meetings, why we couldn't move money from event by event budget allocation into the annual. Is it like, why was that, why couldn't we do that?
Because then it'd be no money available for event by event,
Okay.
and then it just disadvantages everyone. So we do need to reserve money for event by event, so the institution budgets in a way that says, this is much for council, for annual, for event. So as we change the event by event process, then the rest of the 300+ student organizations will have a chance of getting any funds.
Yeah, my biggest thing was, I felt like there was, since we had quite a few student orgs request annual, and then we always kind of struggle having all student orgs request all the money from event by event budgeting, in which sometimes we like have to fight to get student orgs to request money for event by event on, you know, why we were hindering annual so much, or what it felt like.
Yeah, because last year, the event by event process every year has been fully allocated. So it's never left any money on the table, so they take an analysis. So it may feel like that, but it never really is. It's always allocated.
Yeah, I remember Jenna saying last year how there was money left over that it gets put into a different account, and so they're trying to avoid that last year.
Yeah, so we
That
have,
is incorrect.
we have 2 folks who are on their way, SAC representatives.
Yeah, it's
I'm just,
started.
I want to get started, but I just want to folks to know. I think the first council we'll have go up is HHS, if you're prepared to present.
Yep. My first one was sports med. It was budget $31.79. I had to deny it. It was only $50, but they didn't have any itemization. They're just asking for supplies, and then the document that I uploaded was their constitution. So
Okay.
it's saying anything, so I don't know what they were trying to buy.
What number is that?
It was sports med $31.79.
And for folks, if you want me to pull up your budget, I don't know if I'm gonna do it for every single presentation, but if you have one you don't know, we can pull it up. But I think we'll just do it where you vocally give it.
There's a no code column on this, or you just want me to put in each group's no code?
No.
Or what's?
Carrie will.
I can handle
Okay,
that.
I
It's
just,
for the transfer. Thank you for asking.
awesome, I just was not sure.
Yeah, you're like, what is this?
Like, I've never done that.
Sorry about that. I left it there for me.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that was the sports med one. My next 3 were all from the clinical pharmacy. They have the ones that are on different campuses, so it was all their introductory events. So it was, all of them I was approving. They just were requesting some Chick-fil-A for each campus. They met the 950 or under, so all of those 3 were good. They were
All right.
3242, 3241, and 3240, so.
Okay.
My last one was interest groups in neurology. That was $32.01. They're catering Chipotle, and they requested $420, but their itemization was the Chipotle, and it was a screenshot, and the total for that was $380. So they had some extra money budgeted, but didn't say where it was coming from. So I was gonna say that we can approve them for that $380.
Okay. Is that all you
That was
have?
all of them.
So if you're asking for a 380 approval, you need to make a motion.
Yeah, then I move to approve the interest neurology group for $380.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? All those against? See the motion carry, it's adopted. Do you have any more amendments you want us to? Okay, it's on not having this in front of me. What is the line? Well, I guess we could just approve it.
3201 is that one?
3201 was that budget.
And then you can do all of them as a group.
So at the end,
You can, right now, you can.
For each person's.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah, that's what I
Okay,
meant.
great.
I just don't usually, during summers, like line 42.
Got it.
That's what I meant.
Makes sense.
5 through
49.
Go ahead and make that motion.
Yeah.
So my motion to approve 45 through 49.
It was denying 45 though, correct? So, yeah.
Yeah, the budgets that were approved for them, the ones that we put through, right? So we're motioning to do what she said for 45
Maybe
through
just
49.
recommendations.
Mhm. Approving the recommendations.
Is that good, or we have to?
Fine.
That's
you know,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify to everyone as they were voting that the motion is to deny the sports medicine budget.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? All right, thank you, HHS. That is
All right.
adopted.
11 to 11 yeses.
So one thing, folks, I think we're gonna have to do, Sam, I'm happy I didn't assign you any. For some of the folks who are absent, they were assigned budgets. So I think if you have capacity, and one has capacity, pick up 1 or 2. I think everyone was assigned about 5, so really not a lot. So we'll get into that. I think we approve everyone we have here, and then we have to, just because folks
Want
want
to
to.
go back.
Yeah, so we'll move through this rather fast. Graduate school, you prepared?
Can we come back?
Okay, yep. School of Pharmacy,
I'm good to go.
all right.
So the first one I had was the Financial Management Association one. It's line 19 on the sheet. I went ahead and approved their full budget. They were only really asking for food, and it came in below the 950. I also approved, for the following two, for Friends of Internationals, I zeroed them because they didn't say anything about the food. They didn't mention where they're getting it, not necessarily itemized, but they didn't say anything about what it was. Their budgeting wasn't, it was rounded, there was nothing for it. And then for the gastroenterology interest group, I adjusted it down. Their original asking price for food per person was $10.75, which is over. So I adjusted it down to $142.50 because their total included tax and drinks that they didn't itemize. And then I think the last one was her campus, and I approved the whole thing. They were just asking for donuts, which came out to roughly $1 per person.
So that second to last one, you said the total, the adjusted total was 142.50.
Yep. So I motion to approve the recommendations for line 19 through 23.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those abstain or against? Motion passes. Okay, school of pharmacy.
And just
Well, I need
clarification
an
on my
abstention, I
end.
need an abstention on that, on the previous budget.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
realize, I didn't think about the pharmacy portion.
Clarification on
Thank
my
you.
end, the justification for one of them, you said this is their medium priority social event above.
Yeah, they had 2 for the same month, and either way, both of them got zeroed because they didn't do any of the proper itemizations.
Oh, so- okay, so really it was for lack of itemization.
Mhm.
Okay. And was there an exception on this?
Actually, I need to stand, sorry.
No. Okay.
The one thing for, I think everyone was here in the summer training, remember to abstain from your votes. I don't want to pull your conflict of interest and also have that up. I trust you all. All right, moving forward is MSOC ready?
Yes. So for the National Community of Oncology, I put that one through just because it was a general body meeting and they only have one this month, so they're asking for it. And it was under the 950 for the per person. I also said it was okay for the National Community Council for both events. One was a study night. They both were asking for food. And they were both under that.
Were they both meetings, you said? Or
No,
was one
I think
meeting
one was
one?
in the meeting.
Okay.
And then The Physician Assistant Association, I also went through on that one, they were only asking for $4, it was food, and it was under the 24 week. But the Pre-Physician Assistant Society, they had a lot of supplies and materials, but some of the supplied materials were food items because it was an ice cream social, so they had like syrup under materials, and I wasn't sure if that's food or material.
Okay.
Okay, so then that's completely fine. And I motion to approve.
Recommendation for 30 to 30.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Spears, those are all good, basically, all in total.
I want to make a quick reminder, is I know it's our first meeting, but you have to put a reason in next time. So when you do this next time, everyone has to put a reason in. You cannot come without a reason. It helps us and it helps Sam. And then when students call us and say, these are all approved, so no one's gonna call them. But when someone calls us and we say, we don't know, it makes students angry. So just remind yourselves, every time you review a budget, I'm putting Alex on the spot. Model Alex. Write what you can in there, do your best. And so appreciate everybody's time. I know it's a lot, and it comes out as soon as we can get it. So on Wednesday, Carrie tries to process as fast as possible, get it to Justice to send out. But great job, everyone, getting it done. But try to put a reason in.
Thank you for that, Tom.
Thank
They
you.
usually email me to explain myself on y'all's behalf. Sug, are you ready? to
Yeah.
go? Yep, go ahead.
For Mosaic Life Healthcare, I was just wondering if uses can be rented from OSI or if they just should be just included.
They are in the St. Joe, at the St. Joe campus. So
Okay.
I don't know. So they could not come here and rent them from us.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I was like, I didn't know that.
So that would probably be an acceptable purchase.
Okay, then they're fine. The American Pharmacists Association, they looked good. Physicians for Mental Health, I just adjusted the amount to 135 because they included tax. And then,
135, and just straight up
yeah,
for physicians for mental health.
yes. And then UMKC weightlifting was good. And then integrated medicine interest group was also good. So I motion to approve my recommendations.
Is there a second? All those in favor? All those in abstention?
A question regarding that.
Yep.
So since I'm pharmacy, do I abstain from everything regarding pharmacy, even if I'm not part of the org? Okay, then yes.
And all those against?
That is how it works. In the past, I thought it was only orgs that you like had personal benefit from.
If you're, you should not be voting on your council. But you can obviously comment, say whatever you want at any time, but yes.
So one abstain on 67.
Great.
We're close on quorum. Do abstentions make it not? Okay, thank you. All right, international student council, ready?
So my line items are from 24 to 29, and the first one is Industry Pharmacist Organization. They just requested the set amount for food, and it was just Chick-fil-A shareable, so technically it came around to $255 per person. It made sense. And then the next couple ones are for the internal medicine interest group, and those were, they asked for food, and one of them was a meeting with an advisor, the other one was a clinic meeting. I had a question about this, but I did adjust the totals, so let me first talk about the totals and then I'll ask the question. So one of them had taxes in it, so I took off the tax, I adjusted the amount, and when I added it, it came to $578.97. And then the other one, same thing, they just rounded it up to $670, so I put it as it is. My question was, both of them were for the same group, and they were happening, I think, a week apart. So I wasn't sure if we approved 2 food events in the same month for the same organization. That was my question.
It does say meeting
on both to
Yeah.
make me think like a general body meeting, which would mean one of them would get denied.
Yes, because one of them is a clinic one, the other one's an advisor. Like, it almost felt like the advisor one was a speaker meeting by reading their description. So I wasn't sure about that.
I think if it's the like club advisor, that probably can't count as like a guest speaker. That seems like a general body meeting.
All right, well, we can zero that one, so row 25 will get zeroed down. And then moving on to Latino Medical Student Association, they have two budgets. Both of them were in the same month as well. One of them was a general body meeting, the other one was an event. Now that I'm looking at the dates, I'm gonna go ahead and zero down the general body meeting's food and only approve for the event. For 26938, they gave,
It's food for an
You can
event
have-
and for a meet,
okay.
so that's good either way.
Okay, thank you. Perfect, that works then. The last one that I had was Luke 18 project. Theirs was just food as well. They did have, so they have 30 people registered for the event. Their room boost also checks out, but I just had to adjust it for $950 per person and it came to $285. So, with that, I motion to approve all my recommendations from line items 24 to 29.
Was 1 0?
Yeah, that's, before you.
1125, controlling advisor.
Okay, we're good, there was a lot that happened there. Sam, are you good?
I'm all good, yep.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those in abstention? Yep. And all those against? All right, so the motion passed. Thank you for that. School of Nursing, we ready to go?
Yes. I just had two for the Somali Student Union. The first one was a welcome picnic. It was outside of the date range. They wanted to request this for the 1st of September, so we'll deny that one.
We're allowing those.
Are we allowing those?
Thank you for checking that.
Okay. I think that passes. I'll have to double check. I only need it just because it's late, but I'll go back. For the second one, that was a study with me event. They just requested some food from Walmart. Everything checked out price-wise. They wanted $120 for that and 80 cents. And I motion to approve that one.
And second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those in abstention? Those against? So motion passed. Thank you.
So both of those were fully funded, correct?
I believe so. I'm gonna go back and check on that one just to make sure I didn't miss anything because I did deny it first because of the date. But I'll go look.
Yeah, okay. But the vote we just had was to fully fund, correct?
All right.
Is there any abstentions in that one?
I think we'll go to the School of Science and Engineering. Is that?
Yes, so I have the Neurodivergent Student Union. This one was a little interesting. Line ID 3166, I believe should be denied for two reasons. It should be denied because they are requesting personal items. They attached a list. Those items include fidget toy boxes, fidget noodles, stress balls, sensory rings, etc. Additionally, it's unclear whether those items have tax in it. There's not enough itemization to ascertain that information. Line ID 3165 is for the seed fund, which is mutually exclusive of the budget request. And so it should be zeroed in of itself in the budget request. But I do want to say, in 3165 in the seed fund, they say fidget toys for members, which would be a personal item, which would have to be denied,
Okay.
even in their seed fund.
Do we have any comments from that? Is that good?
Seed funds will be given, so you just say yes or no to the seed fund, and then we will manage what they
That they
try
were
to buy,
personal.
right?
Yeah.
But the budget request is the So you're recommending zero funding.
Yes. I move to zero fund the neurodivergent student union.
All those in favor? Those in abstention? Those against? Motion passes with one against. Is that one you have to present? Yes. Let's move to the conservatory. Are you ready to go?
So my first one was the Student Nurses Association. The event was for a first meeting thing, and they're requesting money to cater an informal event, 30 guests, and it's under the $950 amount, so that's good. Student Research Society is requesting money to cater a formal event with a guest speaker, and that also falls under the limit for that. It's $10.75 per person, so I fully funded that. And the Surgical Society is also requesting money to fund for a formal event for food. And it's also under the amount. And then the last three are from the Dental Interfraternity Council. And they're all for what I would say is current, what I think is 3 different fraternities. And they're doing lunches for each 3, but it's all within the same month.
So it's all, I can provide clarification on that, it's all one event. They're basically using their whole event by event budget. This is the only event that the Interfraternity Council throws throughout the year. They just itemize it out by the individual frats, but really they could have just combined them all into one. I think they just over itemized a little bit there, most likely.
So would we be able to fully fund all 3, or what
Yeah.
was itemized correctly?
I think so. I would think so, but I mean, this is a conflict of interest for me. But I would think so, just because it's all one event. They basically just because each of them are. Yeah, you can.
If it's different people under each of the numbers given for the event, I would assume it would be fine as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're all under the Interfraternity Council. They just I think when they were in RU groups, they just
Did it 3 times.
yeah, did it 3
So
for each.
Oh, it's pieces of it.
It's 3. There's 3 dental frats, and they just showed which numbers were going towards which frats.
Okay, so it's just the
rather than-
breakdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just incorrectly basically itemized it into 3 events rather than 3 items.
Okay.
Also, of the 3 events, there were some, there was for the DSD Rush Week lunch, there was $142.99 that wasn't itemized. So I took that out of that and then adjusted the 10% tip to reflect that as well as the Zips Rush Lunch. Look at my notes. They just only $615 worth of that, and 57 cents was itemized, so I lowered it to that. And then the other one is open.
I have a question, just a general question. So with stuff like this, I know we have a cap on each organization's event by event budget. So would that mean let's say even without going through the line items, I think their total was 2,066. So would that mean that automatically we'll
get them down to $2,007 or whatever on campus, just to.
Where is that recorded? So where is it recorded so we know how much we've given each organization? They do it, okay.
Administratively.
There's also.
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Good.
Because the other weeks of cap and one, they're not eligible the rest of the semester.
Okay, gotcha.
Or year.
Is there any more for the construction?
That was all for me, so
Is there a motion to approve your recommendations?
I motion to approve the recommendations made for lines 50 through 55.
Second.
All those in favor?
Um,
Those in abstention? Oh, I was. Four in abstention. Only five in abstention. And then those against. Does the motion pass?
We will vote it.
Okay, motion passes.
So 8 and 4. 4 abstentions, 8 yeses, 0 no's, right?
I think there were five. 1, 2,
5 abstentions. 1, 2. Right, so me and those 3, right?
So 4.
Yeah.
Okay, School of Medicine.
You're not one of the voting members, are you? Oh, you are? Are you the 12th? Or you showed up late? Okay, gotcha. I just didn't accept my name.
Okay, is School of Medicine ready to go? Yeah, before we get started, who were the folks who just walked in? You were?
Cool, but my student name is Robert, but everyone calls me Cool with the
I do like that. Are you coming? You're the School of Social Work and,
Yeah, social work, psychological sciences.
and I'm sorry that you can't locate this room.
I know,
yeah.
Drew didn't give me like all the
Yeah.
information.
Okay,
And he was like, it was on Zoom, and then,
We'll take care of you.
yeah, I appreciate it.
I think Sam or Zach, if you would like to pick up that budget, I'd appreciate that. I'm guessing it's
Tough for me.
I know.
Sam gotta pay attention.
We'll work as we go.
Okay.
But welcome, SAFC. And then the gal in the,
Am I doing all the budgets for that?
yes, School of, I don't know how they say it, it's like Sweeps.
Sweats.
Sweats.
Well,
Thank you.
that's what I call assessment.
Seswips, thank you.
You do the bottom.
Okay, and then the gal from the peanut gallery, your school of law, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No, SSA.
When I had a school of law person, they said that they were still working for the. This room never changed.
No.
For the former comptroller or anyone else. Okay, thank y'all for doing that. I think we'll move on to School of Medicine. Go ahead.
All right, my first one was 3215, the American Civil Liberties Union Law Student Alliance. And this was a welcome meeting, pizza for 20 people. It was under the $950, so I was going to approve the full amount. The next one is 3180, Bachelor of Health Sciences Society. Same kind of deal, introductory meeting. They asked for pizza, which fell within the limit, and then like plates and stuff as supplies, and that also fell within the 2.5 per person limit, so funding that fully. Next one was 3167, Black Law Students Association, and this was a t-shirt order, fell within the 13.5 per shirt, so fully funding that one. 3168 is another Black Law Students Association, general body meeting. And it was funding for food and snacks, which was under the limit. So I actually had a question. Last year, we didn't care for itemization as much. It was kind of general, as long as it's within the limit, it's fine. But I've heard a lot more people kind of focusing on it with like their reviewing their budget. So how strict are we this year with itemization?
I feel like I can't remember what we did over the summer, but because of how, are you saying like in terms of whether we zero fund it versus give?
Yeah.
Because like all they had was food and snacks and then the amount.
What did we decide on over the summer? Because I know we talked about that.
mine based off of that.
I think that's what we ended up going back and making those edits. So I think that if they just say that Unless it's pizza or cultural food.
Yes.
Then I think that they have to provide that information.
Okay. In that case.
If you want any food, you can have some over there.
What about the 3169?
3169, also didn't have any information as to where the food was from, but it did say, like, it was within the money limit, so. Yeah, okay, so I guess we can keep 3169, because it's all from the same association, so.
Wait, so what was the difference then between those two in
There was-
itemization?
There was.
So neither of them said where the food was from, they just requested the dollar amount?
And I have a rounded dollar amount for it. Sorry, they just gave a rounded dollar amount for the event.
And both dollar amounts were far underneath the limit.
So we don't really care where they get it from.
Yeah.
As long as it's under the dollar amount. 'Cause we don't police like wherever they go to get their food.
Okay.
We just want to make sure it's in line.
Okay, so then it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so then are we or are we not zero funding 3168?
I would vote to fund it.
Fund it? Okay.
But so then, just to clarify, like, in the future, they don't have to provide information as to where they're getting the food as long as it falls over the dollar amount. Cool.
It doesn't really matter.
Because we did run into this issue over the summer where we zeroed the ones that didn't. And so I think the adjustment from summer to here is what we're discussing. So for event by events, if they're in the budget, it's fine because we have more room in the budgets to allow it. Okay.
I motion to blanket approval budgets lines 2 to 6.
Okay, blanket approval. Is there a second? That's good terminology. I like that.
One thing I learned last year.
Is there a second?
I heard a second over there.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those in abstention? One abstention. Those against? No. One abstention, one nay, motion carries. 2 nays.
I do have a question then.
Yes.
So for mine, I zeroed 2 of them for the Friends of Internationals because there was no itemization based off of what we discussed over summer. So if that's the case, then we need to approve the 150 for their one event instead of 0. Is that something we'll come back to?
The record is as is, we can always make future motions, so if you want a motion to reconsider that, we can.
Okay. So should I do that now? Should we wait until?
I should, I mean, it was just vote on, it's easy for the record.
Okay, yeah. So then I want to make a motion to alter the approved amount for Friends of International.
I would reconsider the budget.
Oh,
Not
reconsider,
alter,
sorry.
Reconsider. it, we'll open
Reconsider
it
the
up.
budget.
Yeah.
From 0 and put it back to 150, excluding the itemization issue.
He's saying basically we have to vote to reopen it, so that's the only
Do we
motion we're
want to
making.
do that? I move to reopen. Reconsider the budget for Friends of Internationals on line 20, item 3230.
All those in favor? All those against? All right, we'll reconsider it and one abstention. What would you like to talk about?
The only reason it got not approved was because of the itemization issue. So I would like to open it back up to its full budget of 150. And I move for that motion of 150 to carry.
Second. All those in favor? Those in abstention? One abstention? Those in against? One against, the motion carries. Thank you for catching that. If y'all see that, it's important for us to be consistent. I know we have different SHC reps, but if you see something, don't be afraid to go back to budgets because we just want to remain consistent as a committee. Last one, it looks like I have on mine is graduate school. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. We are still at 51 or line item 3153. Start with this one. Lunch, entirely. They're mainly requesting just food items from Chick-fil-A for about 50 people. And it's under the 9%. I wasn't sure if it's a formal event or just like a standard, is it saying it's like a meet and greet for 50 expected members?
A rush lunch would be like, and it would just be an informal event where they're trying to get people to join. So it'd be the 950 budget.
Okay, so then it's over. Goes back to the, it's like a 1050 an item.
Did they say how many people? Yeah, they'll put it just slightly over, so
1015.
in the budget,
So I think we should calculate it.
475.
Yeah, so we, motion to approve that. We can do it item by item.
Well, we're gonna do your whole chunk and then we'll go through it.
That one, 5, the next one was, this is, the wellness rural medicine, which is, well, it's line 3195. So they're requesting 205, and same thing, they just want a pizza, but it's calculated above the 950, so I just readjusted it. For 950, it'd be about 110. It's like 10 pizzas, 5 pepperoni, 5 cheese, and like 1450. These are the screenshots of from Domino's.
So, how many people are going, because the pizzas don't each have to be below 950.
They didn't say, they just said
If we look at their.
If the
in
event should say how many
budgeting.
people,
Yeah, it should have it down.
it should say that next to the little person symbol there, how many people it's for.
You should be able to see that, so you don't have to scroll.
Oh. Yeah.
So we had 60,
Yeah.
so then the price will be fine.
Okay, so then we're just, for two, we're doing 2 tax?
205.
Next two are line up 3173, 3248, the Marketing Leadership Association. They're just still following the dates. Now, the first one, which is the 3173. I want to zero it because there's enough finalization in terms of prices. They give you items, but they don't say how much it is per item. So I can calculate how much was in the 950. So they just have food and I was trying to see if I could find how much they would say it is, but they don't give you a price, so I can't compare it. So I thought it was just easier to zero it on that one.
For which one, the
Yeah.
marketing leadership?
Yeah, 3173.
So that's all for food,
Yeah.
and how many people was it for? Because we just set the precedent that we're okay with giving food as long as it's under the,
With the event guidelines.
per head limit.
Yeah, they don't really tell you how much.
Right, but if we know how many people it's for, then it should be fine if it's under the 950. Because 121 for food isn't a lot unless it's
Yeah.
only for like 10 people.
Well, it's like a welcome. Kind of thing.
So you should be able to search here for the name of it.
More what I would say is that these look like two different events, so
Yeah.
2 days. How do we?
Well, one of them is like for items. So,
Oh, is it
Oh,
like,
one's for
what's our
food
one,
and
one's
one's
for
for items.
items?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them is for swag and one is for items. So the first one is the 19.
So then the number should be right down here. So 45 people,
So
which
that's
puts it in budget.
Okay, so no changes to that. And then this one would be 223, 25. And then, yeah. Next one, I think. This is the swag item. Would be, it's the same thing.
The 121 one?
Yeah.
So both of those were funded.
Yeah, yeah, there's some reason. And then the last one is the Middle Eastern Students Association, the welcome event. Now, so everything's fine. The chicken wings were calculated at like 10.50, so some of the things about reduced it to 5.10. It was like they wanted 10 chicken wings and it's like $10 a piece for one of them. So it was like, but everything else was under like,
So 510 for that one?
Yeah.
The Middle Eastern Students
Yeah.
Association?
yeah, much. Yeah, that's it for me.
So you motion to.
For a motion to approve these 5 items in the budget.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those in abstention?
Aye.
2. Those against? Motion carries. Thank you. That's what I have. So far, maybe school law, weeks.
Is that what's remaining?
Yes,
Okay.
we're in school store right now, but we've done,
We finished this one.
Okay. Okay.
Are there any others that need to be done right now? Which ones do not have people working on?
Good point.
No. I don't think there-
What about environmental council?
Yeah.
They're not here.
No.
That needs to be reviewed.
Okay, I can do the environmental council.
Thank
Do you think we can have a small recess?
That's what I was about to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
you. You give a time.
It's 6:52. I think I'll recess to, I think, 7.
Yeah.
7.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Sorry.
Do we have?
Yes, for
Okay,
recess.
yeah, motion to recess until 7.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Usually people abstain or.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do we need to change from the environmental council to school pharmacy, the ones I'm gonna do?
So everyone.
Yes, okay. I will do that real quick, and then I'll go through and do them. And then-
We're now in a recess.
Me too. Yeah, you can.